Beautiful people. Oh, since I was live for 11 seconds already. Ooh, my bad. Beautiful people. Welcome on this Sunday afternoon, PST time. All right, beautiful people. Today we have a special video for you guys. I'm super excited. But first of all, I want to know, where are you watching from? Small but mighty crew. Where are you? Because we get international up in this piece, okay? And I know you guys are going to love this video because I took a poll about 2 weeks ago and I said, what do you guys want to talk about on this channel? All right, and you guys said land. So I said, okay. All right, and I found our brother, Junior Everett III. He has his own YouTube channel. We're going to get into his story. But definitely, folks, I got a poll for you guys. Hey, North Carolina in the house. Daytona Beach, Florida in the house. Slash and Burn Fitness, Andy G. Yeah, baby. I have a poll going on. If you are on YouTube, there is a poll. The poll says, are you willing? It's a little foreshadowing going on here. Are you willing to be a minimalist to fund your vision? Right? A lot of us have visions. A lot of us have dreams. But what are you willing to do for it? Is becoming a minimalist part of your plans? Would you become a minimalist to fund buying land in Ghana? Right? That's what I had to do. Right? Because some of us, we're not balling. Okay? We don't have a lot of money. Okay? But should that stop us from going to the motherland, visiting, buying land, or buying prefabricated buildings, buying whatever apartment? Should it stop you? No, it shouldn't. But some of us have to, save, get out of debt, become a minimalist, do different things just to accomplish what we want, which nothing wrong with it. That's the majority of us, right? Yes. So yes, there's a poll. Take the poll. 3 votes already. 23% says you would absolutely become a minimalist to fund your vision. 67% said no. Okay. Well, either you already have what you need for your vision or you're happy where you're at. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Didn't mean to rhyme. Love when that happens. Okay. And then, of course, what is your travel personality? So, folks, this page is about the newbies. Right? When you're new to this repatriating Africa or visiting the motherland, there's some gaps. There's some gaps, okay? And someone has to help you fill those gaps. And there's so many of us that are helping you fill the gap, but the gap that I'm specifically filling, this is the gap I'm specifically filling. This is the mission of this channel. Bridge the emotional, educational, and cultural gap to visit, repatriate, or do business in the motherland. That is the purpose of this channel, folks. New Jersey in the house. That is the purpose of this channel. So if that is you, you have found your new casa, your new home, right? Until, you're no longer a beginner. But we have oldies but goodies here too. They like the people that are like where I am, that have purchased land and waiting for a documentation. They're still part of the small but mighty crew because we're here to help each other. Each one teach one, folks. Each one teach one. Okay. Let me do this update real quick. So yes, so far we have USA in the house, folks. We get international, so we'll see who pops up. All righty. So that is the mission. And one of the things I am doing to help us with that gap is travel personality. I put quizzes together for you guys. Take the quiz. Link in description box or at the top of the comment section. Because there's a lot of us, I'm foreshadowing again, there's a lot of us that operate in emotionally imbalanced and in a rush like I did, right? And that a handful of us have, okay? Am I going to be struggling talking this whole stream? Okay. No, I'm not, because we have an interview to watch. Okay. And then also those that are thinking about repatriating, I put a quiz together for you, right? These are complimentary. You don't have to worry about it, okay? And then also, for those that are really serious, I have a lower referral. So if you're a newbie, you don't know where to start, this is the place for you, okay? All righty. Are you guys ready to meet JR? So today's live is slightly different. Okay, we're gonna watch. I'm gonna be in the chat room with you guys, so I'll be watching too. So I try to do different things for my live stream. So I will be in the chat with you guys as we are watching. And folks, get ready. Get ready, because this interview it blessed me. It blessed my soul. So once again, take the poll. Are you willing to be a minimalist to fund your vision? 40% says absolutely. Ooh, it just went down. Okay, went back up. Okay, you guys are voting. Love it. 40% said absolutely. 0% said I'd rather make more money. And then 60% said no. All righty, guys, let's get into the interview. Am I doing this right? I just live streamed last week. How I forget to do this? Okay, here we go. Here we go, folks. Can you see the screen? Now available, ebooks and e-workbooks to mentally and emotionally prepare you to visit, repatriate, or buy land in the motherland. And the authentic handmade kente cloth I got from Kumasi, Ghana is now a home decor line made by yours truly. Get a piece of the motherland until you can visit yourself. Click the link in the description box to visit my... All right, Mr. JR. First of all, thank you for doing this interview. I appreciate it. When you left that comment under my video last week, I said, what? I've been seeing your name for a while, especially in my emails, right?
Yes.
And I said, oh no, well, he's renting in Ghana. He's bought land in Ghana. He's part of the Small but Mighty crew, right? He's part of the newsletter. I said, oh, we need to display this king here. So honestly, no problem. For those watching, we just met right now, like in person.
Yes.
Okay. Even though we've been virtually in each other's space,
yes.
But what I'm going to learn about you is what I'm going to learn for the first time. And we're all learning about Mr. J.R. Everett III right now. Okay. You have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
We want you to cross over 1,000 subscribers. So folks, hit the link in the description box. Let's get them over 1,000. Let's get them monetized.
Get me monetized. Yes.
Get him monetized. Okay.
Yes.
First of all, just start off. Just introduce yourself, your business, your YouTube, and then I'll get into my questions.
Okay. First, let me thank you for inviting me on. You cut me off. I've been following your journey for a minute. As I was starting my journey, my African journey. And when I was doing my research, of course, that's YouTube research, your name was popping up. And I was like, who's the lady that was the coconut hut? I was like, no way. And I started following that journey. But then everything that started happening afterwards, because then once I started researching land, your name was popping up again. And then when you put out your book, I was like, let me get the book, because that's information that, I would definitely need going forward. And you mentioned the comment. It was the last, I think, episode that I did comment on. I was like, yeah, I have those issues.
Mm-hmm.
And but your book helped me through that. But it was something, it was after the fact. I done purchased the land. I done did those things, and I ran in just off emotions. And but the story,
you're not the only one.
Yeah, when you hear my story, it's easy to get caught up in your emotions.
Right.
And so my name is Junior Everett III. They call me JR. It could be JR as in James in my middle name, which is Rodney, or it could stand for James Jr. And
Mhm.
I briefly took on the Junior Everett III. My father has transitioned over, and just giving him honor and respect
Mm.
to him as I become an older man. Now I
I
start to
see.
appreciate those life lessons that I've learned from him. Um, I do have a YouTube channel, but it was really I didn't sign on to YouTube to be an influencer. I was just someone that was on a journey, and I decided to share my journey because to me, sharing is caring. And you got a lot of people that will say, why would you put your business out there? And to me, if it wasn't for YouTube University helping me, because one, my lifestyle, I am a minimalist, I am a car dweller. And if it wasn't for YouTube and those who were going before me that was living, in their RV or living in their car, I they basically trimmed the learning curve for you. And
Mm.
then once the African journey started, it was those who had went before me as yourself and some of the others that I was watching and studying and said, okay, I want to go to Ghana. Then I went to Ghana. Then, okay, I want to buy land. And so that's basically me in a
In a
closed nutshell.
nutshell. When I went to your page, when I saw that you're a minimalist and you're buying land, I said, "Is my twin? What's going on?" Right? I mean, whether you're living in a coconut hut, or I tried to live in my car for one day, I couldn't do it.
You
I
couldn't?
just couldn't do it. So major respect to you with that. But I just had to get you on here. I just had to get you on my channel and display you because this is the time we're living in is we want to be free and happy.
Yes. Yes.
That's free and happy. And so when
Yes.
I looked at your channel, I said, this he knows what's up. He's in tune. And when I saw
Yes.
you're a minimalist, I said, "Oh my goodness, he's really in tune." But I definitely want to know your story. Let's start with what event triggered you to even visit the motherland? Because are you a close descendant of someone in Ghana? Have your family been visiting over the years, or are you the first one to go back since the what's it called enslavement trade?
Yes. Um, for me, it's been a desire of mine since I was 20 years old.
Why?
And so my story is so long we don't even have the time to just get into how I got from there to here. And so
Mm-hmm.
just in a nutshell, I'm a 70s baby. So we're growing up in the 80s, and I'm probably a little bit older than you.
I'm older than
And
you think.
and so during the late 80s and the 90s, if you remember hip hop back then, it was more conscious rap. There was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
positive rap back then. And that was during the time when it was Free Mandela and we was wearing black
Mm-hmm.
medallions with we didn't understand what apartheid was. I didn't, because I'm from the South. So
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't understand, but I went to college in Atlanta. And so I left the country and went to college in Atlanta. So I came back a different person.
Mm.
So I don't know. It used to be that thing where back in the 90s, they were saying, parents was like they were sending their children off to college and we was coming back black. You know what I'm saying? So we were we were learning something different, and I learned something different from what I grew up and was exposed to when I went to Atlanta. Just to put it in a nutshell, how I got here and how Africa, my journey started venturing off. I'm from a Baptist family. I grew up
Mm.
Baptist. Mother
Me
had us
too.
in the church. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather, Baptist preacher, so all of that I was exposed to growing up. But I was a curious type child. I always had questions. And I'm that child that I didn't get to spend time in Sunday school because I would
Mm.
have questions. So I would get put out and have to go sit with the
You
adults.
can't question. You question, you the devil. Your little
And
demon child, get out of here.
yeah, no, but I just had questions like, okay, if you built a boat and all the animals, you mean the animals that you tell me don't like one another, they all now on the same boat together? I'm just asking because that's remarkable to me. Like, how did we do that? And I would get put out because, the Sunday school teacher, that's probably my aunt and my great cousins. So get Junior up out of here. So when I went to Atlanta, because then I don't know, because your father, or you say your grandpa, but it became
3
an age.
generations deep.
Yeah,
my
so
dad, my grandfather, my great grandfather.
right. So once with my mother, once we became teenagers, we were allowed to kind of venture a little bit. We wasn't forced to go to church and things like that. So but I still had that foundation. But I was always just curious. And when I went to school in Atlanta, we lived in an apartment complex. So I went to the Art Institute in Atlanta. I was studying art at the time, but then I switched over to music management. So the Art Institute at that time, back then in the 90s, they didn't have a dorm for us. So we lived in an apartment complex just with regular people. And one day I was in the weight room and I heard these two brothers talking. And so I was ear hustling because what they were talking, I was like, that's really big. Long short, they turned out to be brothers from the 5% Nation. And so
and what is
they were
that? What is
the
5%?
5%.
Is that Islam?
I wouldn't say that it's Islam, but they kind of study a little bit of that, I would say. It's more so the Nation of Islam. And so I would say, a spinoff from the Nation of Islam. They
like
would
a
say that
sect.
they are the next version of the Nation of Islam. So
Okay.
but it's like really big in like Jersey and New York, those type things. So it's now more the conscious community. And
Right.
so like Wu-Tang, you hear Wu-Tang and all that
Okay.
part,
Yes.
5% Nation type deal. So I heard this brother, and so the brother came over. He was from New York, and he was like, "Brother, I see that you're interested in what we're talking about, because we're always recruiting, right?" And I was like, "It sounds interesting. It sounds interesting." And so he said some things to me that I became inquisitive. I wanted to know. But then there was things, because of my background, he was saying I would question those things. Like, he told me Jesus was black.
Okay.
And I was taking him home, and I had a car, and I was driving. And when he said that, I hit the brakes. Like, yo, like, I'm with some of the stuff that you're saying, but you can't blaspheme in my car, because I'm from down south. And so down south, if you know down south, at grandma's house, grandma got a lot of pictures. Everybody on the wall is black, except JFK and Jesus. Used to have
JFK.
that.
Oh yeah, JFK
They used to have
was
that the thing with the light bulb and all that, so it would have JFK on one side and Jesus in the middle. And so that
that white savior complex.
Yeah. So that's how I grew up. And but the thing that he said to me that day changed my entire life, and it's the way I looked at things. He was like, forget everything that you've been taught and told, and then see if what I'm saying to you resonates with you. And that was it. So everything that he started saying from that point on, it was resonating with my spirit. That started my journey as far as being studious and what I'm in. There was some
So when
things
did
that happened.
Africa come into it?
Africa comes in it because now I'm more self-conscious. Now I'm growing to be self-conscious. And so, as I'm saying now, the music back then had us self-conscious. And we were back to Africa and free Mandela. Right. And so that's where it started. That's why I say I was 20 years old. I've been wanting since that point to visit the motherland. But at that time, Western media was, it was, how they displayed Africa.
Flies on the eyeball,
Flies,
and then
poor, big belly. And so
diseases and sicknesses.
So it was that. And so it took me, I was 20 then. First time I went to Africa, I was 52.
Now, what was the What was the I'm going to Africa, I'm booking my ticket? Was it through a tour company? Was it a minimalist trip that you went on your own? What triggered it, and how did you experience the motherland for the first time?
Okay, so back in 2017 is when I made my intentions to the universe that I want to go to Africa. And what I did was I bought a giant map of Africa and I put it on my bedroom wall.
Yeah.
And I just made my intentions every time I'm going to. I didn't know at the time how I was going because I still, I had children, but my youngest daughter was about to be graduating, so I was getting close, and fast forward from 2017, me putting my intentions out there because I'm just a believer that you put your demands, your commands, your wants out in the universe. The universe will respond to you. It might not be today because things have to work them. Some people have to exit. Some things have to exit for some things to happen. So maybe around 20. I'm not sure when I started following this brother. I'm not sure if I want to use names, but I started following a brother that's a influencer. I started following him on Instagram, and just looking at his videos. At that time I didn't got into like herbalism and everything, so more health conscious and things like that. Um, because I just left organized religion alone, so I was kind of out.
Deuces.
But all the good is all in you, so I left, or because I left the 5% nation. I actually went into the Nation of Islam and followed the minister for 11, 12 years. So I got all these backgrounds in me, but at some point I was like, I don't need organized religion, but I'm who I am. And when I started following this brother, his journey was from America to Africa. At that time he was in Africa, and he started buying land and whatnot. And so I was following that. He had bought land, started building, and I was like, wow. But I've been following his journey before the land. And then he advertised that he was going to do a tour. This was in 21, and the tour was going to be January of 22. And I hit the brother up. I asked about the tour, and I think I was a little late, but he said it was still room in. I put my deposit down, and in January we were on the mother continent.
January of 2022. Okay, so it was a curated trip. So you had you paid someone to curate your trip for you. All you had to do was show up.
Right.
Awesome. And how was that trip for you?
For me,
honesty.
Honesty is it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me in my life. One of the greatest experiences that ever happened to me. The brother is more on a culture type, so it wasn't my first experience wasn't Osu party life, nightlife. Ours was he had us in the culture. We was living in guest house, and we was living amongst the people, and that's what I desired. So as we're landing, and then I'm looking and seeing the lights. Wait a minute, I thought Ghana, I thought Akon was trying to light up Africa. I'm looking, I see lights everywhere. Africa's lit. So I was like, oh, okay. As we land, now we're deboarding and we got to go through. But this tour that I was on, he had a guy that knows a guy. So we didn't have to go this way. We could go this way.
Yeah.
You know how
the
that works, right? That works. So
what was that? That one thing you said, it was like the best experience of your life. What made it that? What made that first trip to the motherland one of the greatest experiences of your life?
Well, one, the journey that I've been on since I've been 20, it's been about us, my people. I would say, however you see certain things, even like the nation, we're on the front line fighting for justice for our people. So I've been doing that since I've been 20 years old, fighting for the justice of our people here in America. But that connects us to, I'm reading books about my ancestors. I'm reading books about who we are, where we came from. So I just had that from 20 years old, that experience of loving my people. And so if our origin started in Africa, that's where I want to go. And I'm the only one in my family kind of thinks the way I think. So I'm definitely about to be the first to ever go to Africa. So it was just that feeling that this is what I wanted to do. And finally I get to go. And so when I'm
You
telling
did it.
people that I'm going to Africa, they
They're
like,
like,
that's
what?
amazing. Like, who goes to Africa,
Oh,
right?
oh, they're excited. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So touching down. And you know how when you come out of the airport, you see it, it's like, wow. But I didn't get that experience. I didn't get that feeling that night. It was just mediocre. But going through there, it was the next morning, the next rising, when I
What
heard
happened?
the rooster at 4 o'clock crowing out. And so he woke me up. And then I went and opened the blinds, and the sun is coming up, and I'm like, I'm actually in
In
Africa.
Africa.
And I had to go. I had to get on my knees. I had to pray. I had to thank the universe. I just was, my eyes were sweating a little bit,
Great
you know,
sweating.
just a sweating a little bit. And
So it was a desire. It was a what, from 20 to 52, 32-year desire. So you
yes,
just being there, I mean, I think all hell could have went loose and you would have said, I made it. Right? Because
right,
that was just the desire to go was so strong. And then thank goodness, it helps when you go and it's curated for you. So there's little things that are
right,
not going to impact you and get in your way. So you can
right,
just fully enjoy.
right, right.
Wow.
And
Now
then,
go ahead.
no, what's your question? Because
During
doing
your
it, go ahead.
so during your trip,
hmm
where did you visit or who did you meet? Where did you go to where
Okay,
you're like, Motherland? This is what the
that's where,
motherland is. We've been lied to, or we haven't been told the truth, or
yes, and that's why I say I appreciate this brother, because it was a culture tour. I'm not
Mm,
going sightseeing, the beach. We didn't go to the beach. I think we passed by Black Square, which that was something that I definitely wanted to do. But it was like we stopped, took a picture and jumped back in. But
mm.
so that's why I had to go back. But we went we stayed in Insawan. So we stayed in a guest house in Insawan. So
Is that where you
that's,
bought your first land?
yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's how the story comes together. So
Got you.
part of his tour was he was going to show us his house, and then it later grew. I'm not sure if at that time he had land for sale, or it might have been. So he's going to show us his house, and beside him, he had land. But I don't think it was that time, because it was later when I decided I was going to do it. Anyway, so we were in Sawan, so we were going to go to Cape Coast. So as we're going to Cape Coast, we was going to visit the last bath. So,
Mm,
that's where they walked us to take our last bath before we went to Cape Coast, to the Cape Coast dungeons. And
mm-hmm.
so that experience was like, that's what I mean. Like, it chokes me up when I think about that,
Mm,
because when you get there and then they're telling the story, and it's so crazy, because everything we've been taught, like the biggest thing is that Africans don't like African Americans, or
mm,
they don't know our stories. But to hear at least the tour guys, the people that's doing the tour of this, wherever landmark we're at, they're telling the story. They're telling our story. And so this
mm-hmm.
this particular brother was like, when we sailed away, he talked about, for years they would go to the coast and they would stare over the Atlantic, thinking that those ships would come back that took their families. So he said, we've been waiting for you. Now, whether they made it sounds good or whatever, it felt good.
Yeah, yeah.
it felt
Yeah.
good to hear. And so he was like, we've been waiting for y'all. And so we were in a circle. And so then we had to start to give honor to, some of our ancestors and respect to them. And so we would pour out libation. Am I saying that right?
Libations. Yeah,
Yeah, we
libations.
would pay it. And so I remember when it got to me, I thanked, my immediate, like my father, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and we would call them by name,
Mm-hmm.
because their whole thing is the spirit is still here. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, our traditional African traditional religions and beliefs, the spirit is still here. And I remember giving thanks to, whether male or female, one of my ancestors made that journey from here,
Mm-hmm.
from the dungeons to, I don't know if it was male or female, but because I'm here, somebody survived. All of the
Right.
things that somebody survived, and we made it to the
The
US.
state.
They didn't
Right.
drop us off in Brazil. They didn't. We made it to the
Mm-hmm.
US, and I wow,
Getting choked up.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
I think I basically was saying I have brung our spirit back.
deep.
So we've been gone for 400 years, and I am the first to bring us home. And so
Wow.
that began to be my thing. And so then we're walking. We took our shoes off, and so we had to
Mm-hmm.
walk our path on down to the bath, and we were,
In it.
in it. And so then we left from there, and we went to Cape Coast, and then
Gotcha.
experiencing the Cape Coast dungeons.
Yeah, that's. I don't got words for that. On a higher note, when it comes to how many times did you go to Ghana before you bought your land?
Just that once. Just
Really?
well, what had happened was the experience, because we went from Cape Coast, we went out to the Vulture regions. We went up to the Vulture regions, and we climbed the mountain. We did all of that. So it was just that experience. But when we got back, because I remember when we was looking at his land, and there's a mountain, and I was like, man, I could wake up to that mountain every day. And
Mm-hmm.
when we got back, now in between that time, I'm 50. I'm about to be what now we're in is 52, so I'll be 52. It was 90, I mean 2022. I'll be 52. I'm retiring soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started looking, once I went into this lifestyle. I went into this lifestyle because I was going to start looking for somewhere to retire to. I knew I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to retire here, because
Gotcha.
who really retires here? Even when you work a career, you end up having to get a side job. And I was not going to be some old man working at Chick-fil-A and having some 23-year-old tell me what to do.
We don't want
So
it.
I started looking for a place to retire to where
Mm.
my pension, our money would be long.
Stretch.
And
Yeah.
right. And so I had the DR mapped out. I could go to the DR. So I started visiting certain places. And so I was going to do the DR, the Dominican Republic. I was going to retire there. I was going to start putting things in place, you know. Until I went to Africa. When I went to Africa, it was a different vibe. This is where I want to be. Because now one thing for me, it was the fact that everything was me. The
Everything was me.
advertisement
Oh,
was
black.
me. Everywhere that I
Yes.
see is me. And I
Black, black,
started
black.
saying, I understand how it is to be if you're Asian and you're in China, or if you're white and you go to Europe. To be somewhere and it's the majority of you, I understand that feeling now. It felt
We're
good.
on the
And so I was
money.
like, I want to be. And then, our money still at that time, it was what, 1 to 15? No, I think at that time it went up to like 1 to 16.
Mm.
And so our money was stretching. So fast forward, the same influencer had put out a video that he had land for sale next to his place. And so I hit him up, was like, okay, how much is the land, et cetera, et cetera. And when he gave it, I was like, yo, I'm in. How do I send you the money?
And you sent it.
And
Got
I
you.
sent it. And so It was
Was there
crazy.
any education behind it, or it was just like, give me your money and I'll do everything for you? Like, what was the process buying land through this individual?
That was it. It was more, I would handle the land part, and then he was even establishing a construction business, and I can even build a house, and everything was a one-stop shop.
Okay, so this is a small but mighty crew, right? Here's the question. Was there a lands commission search done?
The lands commission search, because the owner of the land worked at the lands commission search. I mean, worked at the lands commission. So
Did
all of
you
that
get a
was handled.
printout? Did you get a printout of the lands commission search?
I did not.
Okay. It's all good, because that's important that we all know the origin of things, right?
I did not.
So,
And go ahead.
no, I was saying how we all need to know the origin of things, because my
Yes.
channel is geared to the newbie. This is
Yes.
the person that's watching this has not even done anything yet. They haven't even went
Yes.
on their trip, or
Right.
they have visited and they haven't bought yet, right? So I
Right.
want to make sure my community knows the first step to buying land is getting a lands commission search, right?
Yes.
Because that's going to tell you who has the right to sell it to you. So if someone's
Right.
selling you land and their name is not on the lands commission search, that's a red flag. Or if someone says, give me money, then I'll give you your land, that's another red flag, right?
Right.
And so I just want to point that out, because this is the whole reason
Yes.
of my page. But definitely, thank you for sharing your story, because each one teach one.
Yeah, and I would definitely say, if I had to do it all over again, I'm following your lead. But and that's why you can't. I was so excited. What was the word you used the other day?
Overly emotional.
Yeah. So I was definitely that, because I didn't just purchase that land. There was another influencer that was building a community.
I love that you're saying this, because one of the questions on the survey, folks, I have a survey I put together for you guys, so you can do a self-evaluation before you give your money. And one of the questions is, who triggered you to go, right? To visit or even buy land? Mine was Akon. Okay. Was it a celebrity? Was it an influencer? Was it a government campaign? Or was it you internally? For me, it was a celebrity. For you, influencer, YouTube influencers, right?
YouTube
It's so,
influencers.
yeah, it's so important to see the origin of our decisions. Because once I understood the origin of my decision, I was like, that's how I got here.
Right.
I didn't even want to be here. That's how it started. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So I love that you said that, because that right there is the whole reason for my page. Why do we do what we do? Where did the origin of it start from? So we can, hold ourselves accountable. And it's all about learning self, so we can make
Right.
better decisions. And so
Right.
the top 2 reasons when people reach out to me, when they want to buy land, they're emotionally imbalanced and they're in a rush. Right? Your story is just like mine. I'm not here to bash you or nothing. I'm just like, let's uncover it. Let's
Yes.
take off the scales. So our friends that have not, our brothers and sisters, the ones that have not done it yet, they don't fall into the same traps that we did. The trap is us. Like,
Indeed.
who's gonna free
We
us
had
from
to
us?
go through it. We had to go through it for you guys.
Yeah.
We had to go through it, and we're sharing it. So, and my biggest thing is, I'm still here. So the lesson learned, and that's still not to say that I've gotten ripped off. I'm not saying that I gotten ripped off. My
So what's your
paperwork
story?
just ain't the great.
What's the story? So do you have the land certificate?
I have my indentures. Yeah.
Here we go. Another teaching opportunity.
What?
When did you submit your indentures for your deed or land certificate?
Okay. So the registration, one land, excuse me. Now the land that I have in a Cebu, when that indentures came out, it was actually pushed. Make sure you go ahead and register the land. You know what I'm saying? Um, sh- she promoted that. The other, I was told that all this was already done. So I actually had to do my own research. And so my previous trip, so I went again and I was just going on my own, but I end up hooking up with, because they were over there doing another tour. So I end up spending time with them. They the only people that I know. And I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
that I don't trust them. Like, and I started considering that we're friends. We're cool,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the other thing. And the biggest thing is you definitely don't mix business and friendship though. You gotta keep that
Mm-hmm.
line. Like we could be friends now, but when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to business, we have to keep that line. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things where I don't know if I want my friends doing my business, like construction for me and all that. In case I have to fire you now, I don't know how to fire my friend, or
Mm-hmm.
because you know what I'm saying. So it was that situation. But I last year when I went, now this is my third trip. I'm completely on my own, and I'm actually going to find my tribe, because the tribe that I was using was actually his tribe. So I'm trusting
Mm-hmm.
they're my friends and they're my contractors. They're all of this. No, I need my own people.
When did you receive your land certificate to either lands? So, by
Okay.
your
Uh-huh.
silence,
Uh-huh.
you have not received registration to either
No.
properties yet.
Because
It's
there's a story behind it. All right.
okay.
So when I'm going to find my squad, my tribe, because me going over there is bigger than just land. Like I'm looking for um the main thing is I'm looking for a place to retire to. And I don't want to retire here. And I'm maturing as a man. And so sometimes things just want to start to break down. So in case I was building my own retirement home and was
Mm-hmm.
going to put my own staff around me that would be there. And so that's what I went my third trip to find. And I started with my Uber driver. After I went through a few different Uber drivers, my brother Frank became the first in my tribe. And then there's a sister named Irene. She became number two. She was at the art center. And they became my first two. And
I, I, I love this because you went over there to establish community within
yes,
the people. You're not
yes,
going over there with this, I'm American, I have my money, I am the no. That's a whole one of the reasons I went and lived in a coconut hut, because I had to build credibility.
yes.
Because who am I to just roll up over there and be like, boom, I'm here? No, like who? We have to ask ourselves, who are you? Who do you think you are?
That's our
Humble
attitude.
yourself.
When you look at some of the people that's putting out YouTube videos and this happened to them and this happened. Well, one, you're buying. At least I went and visit first. People are buying
Thank
land and
you.
and you ain't even been on the continent to know. We know
Wild.
that sometimes the power go out. We were in Cape Coast and they shut the power out. They told us they had these trash can buckets, fill this thing up with water because we're going to be turning off the water. And so went through those experiences, going through the experience where the lights go out. So now if you've never been over there, can you deal with the traffic? Can you deal with the traffic? Some roads are smooth and paved. Some roads are like country back road dirt roads, right?
Right.
And so you had to have those experiences. And so because of that, like I said, I set up my tribe. And I felt that I needed someone in the culture from the continent that I can grow a relationship with that will have my back. And they
Mm.
became that. They really did. That was last September. That was September of 24.
That's big. Because the people that want to repatriate and live there,
Hmm.
the community, the local community is the way to go. So the
Yeah,
fact, because by the time, well, my tribe is virtual, but when I lived on the coconut hut, that was my tribe. That's how I
right.
was able to do what I was able to do. There's no way. Even right now, I have my tribe that's
Mhm,
overlooking
mhm,
my paperwork, and I'm still waiting. Right, I haven't
right.
gotten neither the first land. I'm not getting. That was a scam. The second land, the beachfront land, I'm still waiting, and there is no even reason for me to even wait. But it's this is Ghana. It takes time.
Okay. So to answer your last question, part of also my tribe, I need an attorney. Reading your book.
Hmm.
So I had them set up some meetings for me to meet with some attorneys, and I met with this one attorney, and I had him look over my indentures. One of the indentures I already had questions because my name was wrong.
Mm.
My name is James Rodney Everett, and it had it as, was it Everett Rodney James or something? So I was like, I know in America sometimes we do our last name first and all that, but I was like,
Hmm.
over there, do they do that? Does this mean the same and all that? And I was
Mm.
told, nah, it doesn't matter, you know. And I was also told, you know, because I heard your video today, you
Which
know,
one? Oh,
if you
the
just start building on the land, you know, we all right, just start building on the land. And so I had started building on one of the land in Sawan. I started building on that. But the attorney was like, no, we got to fix it. So he's going through that indentures, and there was dates that wasn't even filled in. He was like, yeah, this is all wrong. So I'm like, really?
Yeah.
With my second indentures, it was, everything was done right. The only problem is it had 99 years on it. And so
Mm.
I'm like, okay, so they gave me
Not
90.
gonna get
He's like,
approved
legally, you are a foreigner. They cannot give you 99 years.
at all. Stop
And
it. They
so,
stop it. Boom. They're gonna stop it. Done.
exactly. So I got to get all of this stuff corrected to move forward with those lands. And so
Mm.
at
Or
that time, I
marry a
was so
Ghanaian
frustrated.
woman. You want to marry a Ghanaian woman?
All right. All right. um, no, but keep going.
Okay, so
Not
you're
saying that
in
there's
the.
anything wrong with Canadian woman because they're very beautiful, very sweet. Irene, she's my assistant and she takes really good care. And I mean, they're very loving people. And that was the thing that I did love as well. Like coming from where we're coming, I don't know how they are in LA, but I'm in Philly. So, you know, they're not the most politeful people and all that.
Hmm.
And this being
Hmm.
so, that reminded me of down south when you make eye contact, you speak, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So, yes, please, may I help you? Should I help you? And all that. All of that is the beautiful, how polite and loving they are. Those are all the experience. I haven't had any bad experience
Good.
outside of the people, you know, outside of my paperwork not being right and all that. I haven't had any bad experience with the people themselves.
Love that. And the
Yeah.
video you just posted recently, talk to us about the rental process. So you have land, you're building on it, you're waiting for
Hmm.
your paperwork. What
Hmm.
is the rental process like?
The rental process for me was one, because of what's going on, I need to be boots on the ground overseeing my own projects. You know what I'm saying? And even though I might have somebody that can do the day to day, I got to check on my rental prop. So I have to be over there at least 2 to 3 times a year, just checking on things. And so when I went in September, I got an Airbnb. I was staying at the Signature. And that's, you know, if you ever seen that, the one that looked like the steps, they're twins across
Oh,
from the
yes, yes.
choir. Yeah, across
Hmm.
from the mall. I stayed there and I stayed, I think I was there 5 days, 5 or 6 days, and it was like
Hmm.
$700.
Hmm.
So when I was coming back, I was looking at that. If I go 2 times a year or 3 times a year, 777. And so I started having my assistants, Frank and Irene, just price apartments for me. And so then I seen, well, if I get an apartment, it's dang near the same as me paying for Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm traveling, if I get an apartment, I can leave my things there. Like my clothes, I would have clothes and stuff there so I can travel light. Because,
Mm-hmm.
again, going through customs and all that with bags and all that, it's stressful to me. And my biggest
Mm-hmm.
thing is you don't, like they got a saying, don't stress JR. Just don't stress me. Everything going, just
Mm-hmm.
don't stress me. And so if I'm traveling, I don't want to be stressed. So I will pay that money to have an apartment just so I can have clothes there. So I can just go get on a plane right now, just me.
Right.
And just go. And so that was the thing. So there was 2 step. I gotta have air conditioning and I gotta have heated water. I don't like cold water,
What
you
about
know.
the generator for Doom
Um,
Sword?
say again.
The generator for Doom Source, when the electricity goes out, that's not one of your
Um,
concerns, or you're fine with that?
it wasn't. It wasn't because I hadn't had that experience in a car.
Mm. Mm.
So I hadn't had that experience. So I didn't know to ask for that.
Oh,
I
okay.
just I did know I don't like taking cold showers. So I'm gonna need heated water. And so when they went looking, and then the thing about it is they were finding me apartments like at 300 CDs. I'm like, nah,
Mm.
no,
You're like,
because
help me.
they didn't understand. Like they know what 3,000 CDs look like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had to educate. No, no, no. Because yeah, and so
Help me.
they found this spot, and it was 3,000 no 42,000. I'm sorry, 42,000 CDs for the year. It was 12 months. So over there, you're either paying for 12 months or you're paying for 2 years. So over
Interesting. Even though that's not the law, but they're still doing that.
Yeah, I get it because everybody don't have a job, or you might have a job and might not have the job, and they don't make money. So I guess the landlord making sure, let me get at least 12 months out of them. And so the 42,000 at the time, it equals about $3,000. And so I
Mm-hmm.
got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a shower, 2 balconies for 3,000 for the year.
For the year. I remember doing my own research when I was headstrong about repatriating and moving there. It was the same thing. I said, I can pay $3,000 for a whole year and have somewhere to go. It was amazing to me. So when
Yes.
I saw your video and that's exactly what you did, I said, oh, please share. And I
Yes.
love the fact you have your tribe, you have your local community. You
Mm-hmm.
sent them out to find it for you because they know the language, they know the
Right.
customs, they know the culture, they
Exactly.
know. They handle your business. So now all you got to do is supply the money and then you show up when you want. So do
Right.
you have someone renting there when you're not there?
Yes. So
Smart.
Frank has a family. So he already has a family, and he lives on a compound that his parents left him. So he didn't need it. Irene, let's just say Irene has humble beginnings. And I don't even think they're ashamed. Some of them have to fetch their water. Some of them get well water, and some of them have to take showers with a bucket. Some of them
I
have
know how that is.
toilets outside. So she comes from those beginnings. So when I met her and befriended her and put her across the tribe, um, I actually let her stay one night with me at the signature, and she was out on the
Mm-hmm.
balcony, and she was like just like
And
in
all.
awe. So I was like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, you can just stay there. You can stay at the
Mm.
apartment, because I'm only going to be there 2 to 3 times a year. And so you can make sure that everything's all right. So she stays there.
So why 2, 3 times in a year? Why not relocate permanently? What's stopping you from making that type of commitment?
One, I'm not retired yet.
Mm,
Two, it's well, one, we can't go over there looking for employment. Either you already established with your finances already straight, you got some pension and all that. If not, then you got to go over there and create a business, create income, not looking for income. So if you're
solid.
going over there thinking you're going to find a job, there's not even jobs for them. So that's not
Right.
happening. So and then my that's why I didn't say it. So my goal was I was on a 6-year plan, a 5-year deal. So my goal is to be retired by the time I'm 60.
Mm,
So I'm doing everything I can building my house because once you build a house, the house is paid for. And so then
right.
you're putting in your boreholes or your water. You got your what you call this for your lights and whatnot, your electric. So my goal, my plan was to build my house, and when that's finished, then that's one step already taken care of. With the tribe, since last August to now, they're looking for some more land that we can probably do a farm on. We're just going over business ideas, something
Mm-hmm.
that can generate some type of income. And so I've just been doing the research. Should we be cattle? Should we raise some cattle? Should we raise some goats? Should we raise some
Mm,
chicken? Should we do some type of farming? You know, and it's all of that. So they were bringing me things, but again, I'm like, what's the paper? I mean, we got to do the numbers of it. I'm just telling y'all to look. So there is some more land available, but I'm so hesitant now to purchase the land. But
mm-hmm.
there's basically an acre of land for $1,500. So I'm like,
Mm,
okay, that sounds good. And so I'm just slow
sounds good.
pacing that and getting the attorney involved with all that, getting the surveyor to survey the land, and there's all of those things. Like that's why I'm saying I'm slow pacing it now. Learn from the
I'm,
lesson.
I'm a proud mother.
Yes,
I'm proud. I love
yes,
that. I love that because it's about how we end,
yes,
not how we
yes,
start.
yes, yes. So I
And
want to be
I love,
retired by the time I'm 60. Um, and so I'll be 55 this year. So now
mm,
I don't know if I'm gonna chalk that 1 year and then I have to give myself a grace because I had a learning curve. I got to go back and maybe add. All right, maybe we'll do 61. And it just depends on how fast I can get something going over there. And it doesn't have to be. It's like I spent the last 30 something years trying to be an entrepreneur.
mm,
And that's in my spirit. That's in my heart. But I also had to learn over there. And even Irene, she's quick to say, JR, this is Africa. JR, this
this,
is Ghana.
this is
And then
Ghana.
I started catching on what she's actually saying because we're coming over there with our mindset and we're expecting here to be there, the
Right.
people to act, traffic to be act. And so that's when I started learning, why am I going to somebody else's house telling them how their house should be? And they've been running their
Hello.
house perfectly fine before me. So
Debt
I just
free.
learned that I should be over there learning their ways. And there's a few things that we might can change because I'm eating fufu and all that with a fork. They dip in and I don't do the community thing. I don't do that.
Hmm.
Give me a
But
bowl, put mine in a bowl so I can eat.
yeah.
I'm a germophobic. It's funny
Oh, okay.
because I'm a germophobic who lives in his car. That's funny, but you know what I'm saying. But
But there is some. It's when you find your tribe to where they know they can bring value and they know your value too. That's when you hit the good spot.
right, right,
Okay. And the people that are willing, if you're listening, folks, if you're willing to put in the work and start from the ground up when it comes to
right,
building relationships, that's
right,
the best way to go,
right,
in my opinion. Right? For us that are not rich and we don't have a huge influence, or we're not celebrities, or we're not huge influencers, that's the only way, in my opinion. If we don't have connections, if we're going over there and we've never been to the motherland, we have to build from the bottom up until we build those relationships. I mean, I don't see it any other way. So I love that you said we're, you know, bringing that Western mentality over there is not going to work. And so you either change to meet the frequency, or you're going to be hitting your head to the where you're going to come back to the States and be like, I can't do it. Like for me, I was like, I'm not changing my ways. So I'm going back to the States. And that was that. Right. Last question for you. I appreciate your time so much. Why are you buying land? Why are you renting? Why are you doing this? Why are you developing? Why are you considering buying more land? What's the why behind it all?
The why behind it is my place, my 9 to 5. So my 9 to 5, I have 20 years. And because it's a union job, you're going to get them from babies 20 to 60, 70. Nobody really retires from a union job, right? But I can see now that I'm in the middle, I can see the breakdown of elders. And as I was saying before, I was in a Chick-fil-A and I seen these young people behind the counter and they needed the trash and they called Miss Ann. And I see this older white lady coming around the block to take the trash out. And I'm like, oh no. And I see Miss Ann struggling with this trash. Yeah. And she probably done worked a career somewhere, but because of here and the things that's going on here, we're never able to retire. You know what I'm saying? Or when we retire, we need something to supplement our Social Security and all that, because it's not enough, because we live our life like this, but then as we get older, we have to downsize our life and live like this. You know what I'm saying? And so to keep this lifestyle, I'm gonna have to go. I'm a door greeter at Walmart or something like that. And I just started saying that's not gonna be me. And I need to start preparing for my own retirement. And I didn't have a 401 because I was just someone who always bet on myself. You know, so I was like, how much I'm gonna get out of my 401 anyway? Oh, I planned to have twice that. That was my plan. And so my whole thing was to build as I said, it starts off as a retirement home for myself. And I'm the type, if I started aging in life and started losing certain things, I have 5 daughters, but I don't want my children taking care of me. They have their own journey now. They have their own life. And that could be wrong thinking, I don't know. But for me, I don't want my children taking care of me. And so if I was I'm the type, well, just put me in a nice home and pay somebody to take care of me. But here I can't find that nice home. So I just said, I'll go build my own home. I'm building my retirement home. I wanted to build, once I got over there, I was like, why don't I build a retirement community? Just for us because you got to be like at least 45 and older. No young folks. You got to be somebody that's been here. There's nothing left for us here. And we don't need to be able to be in the club. We don't need to be at sporting events and all that. We just like waking up, shooting the breeze, just relaxing and living the remainder of our life. And so I was like, I started coming up with a plan that why don't I just build once I started seeing that I can buy acres of land for this price, I said, I can build a whole community. And you know what, sis, the thing, what I didn't like was I see that some people are buying whole communities and trying to build communities just with us from the diasporas.
There's a reason for that.
And then they had prices here. You was going to charge me the price that I would pay here for the house. And I was like, oh no, I'm not. I can build my own house. I can build the whole community for the price that you're trying to charge me. But I just see that why are we going over there and then we're going to segregate and separate ourselves from our people over there? You know what I'm saying? As though they're all bad. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
they're like when you get over there, you don't see them with a Benz. Like they not driving Range Rovers. Like they don't have nice homes. You know? And those are the misconceptions that us here don't know that, everybody's not broke over there. Everybody's not poor. You see what I'm saying? And so they're into real estate. So it's those things. So I just would like to see us merge the communities, because there are some people that we need to leave here. We picked
I
up some
agree.
certain bad habits here, so you can keep that here, because some of them are actually going over there, and that's what I'm seeing, that even over there, everybody ain't got the same spirit.
Oh yeah, well, that's the perfect way to say it. The same spirit. So
Yeah.
basically, you're building your own place to retire, right? So your kids can just come visit you, not roll you around and wipe you behind, right?
Facts.
You're gonna pay someone else to do that, right?
Facts.
So that's your vision. And then you're like, okay, let me expand my vision. Let's create a retirement community, which is really needed in Ghana. I did a live on that. I don't know if you watched that. There's only
okay.
Yeah, I did a live called 55 Plus. Is it smart to move to Ghana as a senior citizen?
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Okay.
Yeah, it did really well. Like people were like, wow. And so there's like one retirement home that I know of. So it's rare. So what you're doing is really needed. And so that's the mentality, the entrepreneur mentality that you can bring to Ghana, that you can bring to the motherland, because there's no jobs for you guys. There's no jobs. You go there as a business person, as a visionary, right? So I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. This is amazing. I love you.
Very great to meet you.
Same here. And I want to get to know you guys more, because some of you guys been hanging out with me for a while. Yes. And most of us, I only know one person that has their registration. And that was the person I helped, right? And I can't even help myself. Okay.
So
but eventually,
are you done with Ghana? Are you done with Africa?
I'll visit, but I don't plan on relocating. Right? Repatriation is not a part of my plan anymore. Okay. I just want to get my deed to my lands, and then I'll go from there. But until I get my deeds for my land, there is no. Right now, I'm just helping the community. I'm just sharing my knowledge, putting what I know in ebooks, putting what I know in videos, just to help the community. So this is kind of a community service right now. So everything, that vision of what I had when I first went to Africa, the motherland, it is no more. It is no more, because I've changed. I'm not even the same person I was that first trip. The first trip, second trip, third trip, fourth trip, I'm not even that same person. The fifth trip, I've been changing every trip. And it's been beautiful. And so I realized I'm on my journey of self-discovery. Okay. And I realized that even the way I feel about money is not even the same. A lot of me going back to the motherland was money and wealth driven. I'm not money and wealth driven anymore. Now, it's important, yes. I'm not saying anti-money. No, the money makes the world go around. Money is power. Right. But it is not the foundation of my decisions anymore. So when I had that realization, I said, then what am I doing? I was like, I just want to be with my family, eat good food, and have fun. F3. That's all I want. Family, food, and fun. And that's Leslie Jones.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I also want to say, because, tell your community to be nice, because it looks like I'm leaning, because I am leaning, because I'm actually in so I can't sit. So I'm actually in my car. I didn't know. I was like, how am I going to do this interview? Like, how am I going to do this interview?
Elaborate on that. How is it living in your RV? Is it RV, a van? How is it?
This is a Dodge Durango. So it's an SUV. Yeah. This came about. I'm actually in my August will be 4 years that I've been living. Yeah. 4 years ago, I think that was 2020, because it was a year before I went to Africa. Then it was 21. So I think it was 20, somewhere around. Yeah, it was 20 or 21. Put it that way. August. And some things was just going on in life and whatnot. I think I went through midlife crisis. from 50 and I was trying to figure out life. Your children are grown now, and I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't know what I would do. But I still had goals to do something, I think. And I used to tell myself, because I started a family young, and I always would say, if I didn't have my family to get my dreams, to accomplish my dreams, you need finances. I wouldn't be wasting money on a brick and mortar here and all that. I would live in my car. I would tell
Mm.
myself, but of course I had a family and all that, so I couldn't. But then I found myself where maybe I should try. So I tried it. And then at 50, I didn't know what I want to do. And so then I just said, I just want to travel. For the remainder of my life, I want to work, of course, because the work takes care of the travel. And I just want to
Mhm.
travel. And I moved into at that time, I had a Chevy Equinox. And I just moved into her. And I like the freedom. We spoke earlier about this freedom. I'm free to go
Mhm.
whenever I need to hit the highway. I hit the highway wherever I want to go. I
Wow.
post up. I don't have to pay rent and electric bills and all that. For a place that I'm not at anyway. And
Ooh,
that
this
was the
is good.
thing.
This
I'm
is a
not
good
wasting
topic.
money because I'm not in my apartment. I'm either at or I was traveling. Work or I was traveling. So I still had that monthly rent, coming in. And I was like, I don't need this. So I moved into
Wow.
my vehicle, and of course, I said I had to go through YouTube Universe. How do y'all live in my car? Like, how do I do this? And I'm just looking at everything. And as I said, I was a germaphobe. So using the bathroom in public and taking public showers was not in, I've never done that. And so those are things that I had to learn. And of course, we use PF. Planet Fitness is big when you're in this lifestyle, and
That one day
I just found
pass.
I found me a nice gym, home gym. But of course, you get the black card because the black card allows me when I'm traveling, there's always a Planet Fitness. And so wherever I go, I can find
Mm.
me a gym, I can find me a shower, I can find this. But long short, I downsize my lifestyle to upgrade my experiences. And so every dollar that I save here, I'm able to use with now my visions in
You got
and
it.
and on the mother continent. And so being on the mother continent, and you spoke of Akon. I hearing him a few times where he was like, whatever your talents here, you can just take it here. Whatever your beliefs you hear, whatever you want to do here, you can take. And I did see that my mind began to grow again. Like, oh, I can do this, I can do that.
Mm.
I've always wanted to build my own community.
Yeah.
If if I bring people, they were like, yeah, I was in my 30s talking about, yeah, but I want to build a safe community here because I grew up as a military child, and I wanted children to be able to have a place where they can just be children. So I
Yeah.
said, I need to create my own gated community so the children can be the children. And when I got over there, and Mother Africa by Akon, that is my song.
Ooh,
Yeah.
well, we know the power of music with you. It
Yes.
influenced you to do a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
I am so impressed by you because I didn't make it a whole 24 hours in my car. I tried too. I really tried. I parked in the 24-hour fitness. I was like, I'll go take a shower or whatever. I got so hot in my car, and then every time someone walked by, I got nervous. I'm like, I can't do this. There's just a whole
Yeah.
bunch of men
So
just got done playing basketball. I can't be up in my car. The second they see me, they opportunity. So I was like, no, maybe not.
it's different. One, like I'm actually laying. I built a whole bed. There's no seats in here. Like I built a bed, so I'm laying
Mm,
on my bed. But this right here, see, I have custom window covers, so all the windows
mm,
are covered. So, and the other flip side of this is black, so it just looked like dark tint. So it's just a car sitting here, so you don't know that I'm in here. So when I'm
ah,
but I don't sleep everywhere. I don't Steph camp everywhere. Like I'll do like a rest stop. I don't do like the Walmarts and inside the
mm,
PF parking lot. Like I'm safe. And even at my 9 to 5, we have an employee parking lot. So I say, I live in a gated community because you just can't walk in our employee parking lot. So I live in
right.
a gated community. And so
This is
it worked. It's beautiful.
amazing.
And now let me tell you, you are the
Yeah.
first because I hadn't been that video that you just seen. I just posted that. It's only
Yeah.
2 videos on my channel of this lifestyle. And the other one was when I first went into it. I did a tour of my Chevy Equinox. And then that video that I just post, I just started sharing this because I don't know. It's not that I'm ashamed of my lifestyle. I just didn't see how everybody was more interested in the African videos, videos. And so then when I started posting this, people were interested. Oh no. How do you live in your car?
Gonna, just like you attracted your tribe in Ghana, you're going to attract your YouTube tribe. And you're going to find the people will find you, and you'll just, attract each other, whether they're minimalists and want to know how they live in the car, or if they want to rent and build in Ghana. Like, don't even worry about it. You're going to attract your people to you, because that we're all looking for each other. Just like right now, we're talking because we literally attracted each other, because the same path, same journey, same desire, same, spiritual awareness, enlightenment. Yeah, it just happens naturally.
Okay, great.
Yay! This is amazing. Thank you so much for your time, folks. Go
your
follow.
Spirit is great. Your spirit is beautiful, and that's why I don't talk to just anybody, and I don't I keep my circle close, and I keep bad spirits away from me. And so when you call, I was like, I don't do interviews. Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say and all that, but she got me.
Yeah,
Her spirit got
hour and 15 minutes. No, we're an hour and 15 minutes.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you did excellent. I mean, you talked more than I thought you were going to talk. This was great. And usually that's how it happens, because we're just having a conversation. We're just talking about life.
Yes.
And we're talking about something that's important to us, that we invested time in. So, folks, go follow Junior Everett III. His link is in the description box. If you're a minimalist, follow him. If you want to buy land, if you want to build in Ghana, follow him. He is your guy. Thank you so much for being part of the Small But Mighty crew.
Thank you so much
for thank you so much for buying my book and just being part of the community, the Small But Mighty crew.
Small But Mighty crew. Beautiful. Right. Thank you guys for having me.
Perfect. Peace. Okay. Deuces. Where am I? Can you see me? Where am I, guys? Oh my God. Oh, can you hear me? I'm here. Why is it? Oh, wait, this button. Oh, folks, was that not good? What? Okay, great. You see me. Folks, I tried something new. So I streamed my video within my live stream. What do you think about this layout? I like it. Now we can just chat. But if you missed it, you're going to have to go back and watch it from the beginning. But it's not over yet. I'm still here. I know, folks, the CEO of Grepa is in the house. Queen Victoria Ose Sampa. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Folks, I talk about Grepa. Grepa is the association, the Small But Mighty crew got into the GIPC. I know most of you guys know my story, but folks, Victoria is the CEO of Grepa. Queen Victoria, we might have to do an interview real soon, huh? And bless the people for the culture. So, folks, I was a real estate agent. Oh, Vicky, I'm no longer a real estate agent. My license literally expired this month. But when I was part of the National Association of Realtors, and I saw a Ghanaian man with a Ghanaian flag in one of my trainings, and I said, "Who is that? And how did they get into the National Association in the United States of America?" Grepa and NAR, National Association of Realtors, have a cooperation agreement. So, folks, that bridge, if you're in the States and you need a bridge, Grepa is that bridge. So I strongly encourage you, if you're like, where do I start? What do I do with land? You can get my book. You can do that. Or go through Greppa. And actually, in my book, I have a link to Greppa in my book, so you can actually go and select a real estate agent. I'm not playing with you guys. This is never a game, right? Oh, you're in Ghana right now. Yes. So she goes back and forth to, is it Texas? I forgot which state. Yeah, I think it's Texas. I think you go back and forth to Texas, but currently she is in Ghana right now, folks. This is the CEO of Greppa. We as a community got Greppa in the GIPC and removed costs, and we got Greppa in. Folks, that's the governmental impact that I talk about. So when you hear me say that, that's one of the things we did as a community a couple of years ago when we were only at 4,000 subscribers, making moves like that. Making moves. See, if you're new here, I yell sometimes. I just get passionate. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just passionate. So yes, I would definitely want to acknowledge Queen Victoria because she's made it easier for us to transition, folks. She has a YouTube channel as well. I mean, yeah, we got to do an interview for sure because yes, people need to know who you are. All righty. ATM. That video was a good video. Indeed. I was so excited to get this video to you all. He dropped gems, right? And let's check the results of the poll. Let's see what you guys have been saying. Uh-oh, what did I do? So the poll is at, 22 votes. Are you willing to be a minimalist to fund your vision? 73% of you guys said absolutely. 9% said I'd rather make more money. Okay. And 18% said no. I'm assuming the 18% you are happy where you're at. You don't need to make more money or you don't have to become a minimalist to fund your vision because you are living your vision, right? That's dope too. And I'd rather make more money. Yeah. I know people that, I did both. I made more money and lived in a coconut hut. So I was a minimalist and I made more money because I had to make things happen. You know what I'm saying? So I did both. That just hit me right now. I drove like crazy for Uber. Folks, that's why I'm not just walking away from my money after 4 years. It's still drama. But I'm not just going to walk away from that. I did a lot of work. Okay. And then living on some sand. I lived on some sand with mouse with chupacabras and human sized what is it called? Crabs. For those that have followed my Coconut Hut series, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yes. 18% said no. Hey, some people are already living their dreams. We're not gonna knock them, okay? We're not gonna knock them. All righty. And definitely thank you. Big shout out to the Cash App crew update, folks. So every time you super chat, every time you send me Cash Apps, it goes to my storyboard. Guess how much we're at so far? Do I have my storyboard? Here we go. My soundboard. Folks, we were at $211. Thank you so much. Every time you sponsor a stream, send a super chat, send a super thanks, send a Cash App, it's going to my soundboard purchase. And folks, we are already, 1/4 of the way? We're there. We're on our way. We're going to get there. I know we are, right? Because, that's how you show you guys' gratitude, by blessing me, okay? You've done the minimalist thing before for about 3 months. Folks, some of us have to do it. Some of us have to make drastic changes for changes. That makes sense? Okay? Some of us have to do things to change our current circumstances. One thing I did, thank you so much. Folks, no comment, no question, just a pure super chat for the love of the game. Junior Everett III. And he was the video. He was the main reason for the video. You are the stream sponsor. Let me give you your credit, right? Let me give you your credit and update my banner here. JR. JR, did you see the whole interview? Shout out to JR. He just became the stream sponsor. I appreciate you, brother. This interview was one of my favorite. I can't even put these in a category, really. But this was a special interview for me because of the minimalist aspect. Okay. You're the first, JR. I've tried to live in my car and I didn't even last 5 hours. I was so hot and scared and nervous. I was like, no, I can't do it. How old was I? I think I was 20, 22, 24 or 25. I never told my mom this, but I said, I'm going to see if I can live in my car just in case one day after just go off on my mom. I don't know why I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, just because I need to go off, I need to make sure I can just leave and not come back. So I was like, let me practice first, just in case I don't want to get mad and shoot myself in the foot and I have nowhere to live. So I went to 24-hour fitness because there's a gym, there's a shower and everything. I was like, I'll just do that. Folks, I didn't make it. I didn't make it past 5 hours. No way. So the fact that you've hit 4 years, JR, impressive. 4 years as a minimalist living in his SUV. Folks, do you know, like he said in the video, all that is going to his vision in Ghana. Because what our money stretches. Oh, you're just getting on. Okay, so you missed your whole interview. So you can go, I don't know if you can watch it from the beginning. I think that live stream has to end, then you can watch it from the beginning. But yeah, people are loving it, JR. They're loving your story. They're loving your energy and the education. Okay. So yes, thank you. Shout out. Oh, we got ATM in the house. Another stream blesser here. Thank you. And folks, the stream sponsor goes to whoever gives the biggest donation. ATM, look at no comment, no question, just pure love for the community. Thank you, ATM. You're going to be the next interview. You will be getting an email from me today. Because, folks, this is what my channel is about. Unity through community, that we all come together and encourage each other, right? Because we know the mission. We have to bridge this educational gap. Grepa, right? Queen Victoria Sampa, she has bridged the real estate gap between the United States and Ghana, right? Me, I'm here to bridge the emotional, educational, what's the other one? Emotional, educational, and cultural gap, okay? We have to bridge these gaps, right? And who's going to do it? We can't wait on no one else to do it. We got to do it ourselves. So, folks, if you found this page, if today is your first day, and you found this channel through this interview, law of attraction, right? We're attracting each other because I believe your experience in the motherland should be, especially your first experience, should be life-changing. So ATM, thank you so much for your donation. You're so consistent. You're the next interviewee for sure. Thank you so much. Folks, let's open up to questions and answers. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it on me, slap it on me, rub it up. No, let me stop. Okay, let's go to the. That's how you know I'm happy. Stuff started slipping out of my mouth. Okay. Q&A time, folks. We're about to hit an hour and a half. Oh, that was my question. Did you guys enjoy this layout of me playing my video and then within the live stream? I'm just trying to try something new for us, okay? And folks, we got 25 votes on the poll. Are you willing to be a minimalist to fund your vision? 76% has said absolutely. 8% said I'd rather make more money. And 16% said no. They don't want to become a minimalist. Hey, which is understandable. Okay, any questions? Go ahead and put it in the chat, all right? If not, we're going to wind this up. I had fun with you guys. So today, I was like, what if I'm just in the chat? not too much. Not, we're just watching. I'm watching it with you guys, and I'm just in the chat talking to you guys, and I liked it. Or would you guys rather me be on the screen the whole time? You tell me. You come here to watch me, so let me know, right? If you would like that. Okay, ATM, yes, we like the reaction video format. Perfect. That's actually my favorite type of video, is to watch reaction videos. I did a poll not too long ago, and I asked you guys what you guys wanted to see. You guys said land. No, what was it? It was land, reaction videos. I forgot the other one, but land was at the top. But my favorite is reaction, so I kind of merged it all together. I put two together. I put my favorite, and I put what you guys voted for most on here. So yes, this is definitely a reaction format. All righty. T. J, I don't know what that means. T. Okay, folks, no questions? All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging with me. Thank you, ATM, for being a sponsor of this stream. Thank you, Junior, for being the lead sponsor. I appreciate you guys. We're getting closer to the goal. Folks, after today, what, $20 more? We're getting closer. We're getting closer to getting my storyboard. So yes, every time you send a super chat, a cash app, or super thanks, it is going to get my storyboard. And folks, the storyboard is just going to make my live streams even better. Can you imagine when I can do sound effects and music? It's over. I'm already extra. So when I add the technology and music, ooh, I'm going to be a hot mess. I'm going to be a hot mess. Okay, guys, I'm just talking now. I appreciate you all for your participation, for your gifts, for your comments, for your watches, for your likes. Oh, let me see. Let me end the poll. Okay, folks, I'm going to end the poll at 25 votes. There it goes. There's the results. Can you see it in the comment section? If you're on YouTube. Final results out of 25 votes, 75% said absolutely they would become a minimalist to fund their vision. 15% said no, they wouldn't become a minimalist to fund their vision. And last but not least, I'd rather make more money, 7%. All righty, folks, thank you for your participation. I appreciate you. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say before I end it. Oh, for those that take the travel personality quiz and the are you Repat ready quiz, if you don't get your results right after you finish the quiz, check your spam. And if it's still not in your spam, email me. Because I've had 2 people tell me that they haven't got their results after taking the quizzes. So let me know and I'll email it to you directly, because that's important. First, I need to, fulfill what I say. I don't want people to walk around and call me liars and stuff. She's a liar. We took the quiz and she didn't give us nothing. Now she has our email and now she's emailing us 10 times a week. No. I want to get you what I want to fulfill the agreement. Okay. All righty, guys. I appreciate you. Till next week. I think that's it. Bye. Now available, ebooks and e-workbooks to mentally and emotionally prepare you to visit, repatriate, or buy land in the motherland. And the authentic handmade kente cloth I got from Kumasi, Ghana is now a home decor line made by yours truly. Get a piece of the motherland until you can visit yourself. Click the link in the description box to visit my store.